Hello everyone, my name is Catsi. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are here with a different type of video, so if you enjoyed this type of video, leave a like and subscribe, and maybe I'll continue it again if you guys want me to. Comment down below. Today, I really wanted to do a story time video. I used to do those all the time, back when I first started, maybe 2016, 2017, before my content was remotely tolerable. I did that, and I've done a few in the past couple of years, but recently I feel like I haven't been connecting with you guys as much. I don't want to be one of those creators that just makes saturated content and, doesn't connect with you guys and, talk to you guys. Lately it's been all about just the Minecraft series, and I love that, because I love how my channel's been going lately, but wanted to connect with you guys, so yeah. As you guys know, I'm trans. I'm a trans girl. I'm you, she, her, for those of you new, she, her pronouns. And I just wanted to talk about a story time that happened, because I know there are, other trans people, they're out there, like me, who might be watching this, so I thought maybe you guys would relate to this experience and we could have a laugh or cry together, whatever you guys want. While I do the story time, I'm gonna be building with the awesome new cherry wood, because literally it's calling to me. Random witch, I'm calling you out here, random witch. Michael, I don't have an addiction to cherry wood for the last time. I don't have an addiction. I just need to feed my desire. Sniffs. Anyways, I don't even know if you can hear my sniff on the mic. Oh well. Yeah, we're here for the story time. This story time is about how I got left. Somebody broke up with me and ended a relationship with me because I'm trans. We're gonna get into that, so yeah. Before we get into it, don't try to find the person. They are a content creator. I'm not gonna be naming them by name though, because I feel like that would bring more drama than needed, and I kind of just don't want it to be a thing. So yeah, all I ask is you guys don't look into it and find who it is. I know that's more than I say, but I don't want anyone getting hate no matter what they do to me, and I don't really want the drama either, so thank you. And before we get into it, just a disclaimer, I don't think not wanting to date me because I'm trans is inherently transphobic, even remotely. If you have a preference, that is fine. Just when you hear the story, you'll understand why your girl was a little bit upset, okay? So, yeah, let's jump right into it. So, I'm so sorry guys, I'm so dumb. I've been looking around for cherry wood, and I couldn't find it. I think I opened the wrong Snapchat. I looked it up on Google to see which one it was, but it's not correct. So I'ma try another Snapchat, the one that other one that might be correct. If it's not on that snapshot, you guys are gonna have to deal with me building without cherry wood. I'm so sorry. Alright. Righty, I'm so sorry guys. I'm even dumber than I thought. So I didn't press the button to enable 1.20 features on my previous world, so I switched versions. I don't know if it's gonna work now, but that might not even be the issue, so we're gonna see if I can find it. Alrighty. Yeah! Fuck yeah! We found it! I'm so smart, guys! Oh my god, I'm the most intelligent person ever. Never have I ever done anything dumb that made no sense. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, so now that we have all the cherry wood, we are going to start my building and the story time. Alrighty. So, this person, right? The story time I'm telling this person on? Yeah. Oh my god, you guys can tell I've been the story time for so long. I'm so sorry. This person, as I said, not naming names, even though I could literally cancel them if I wanted to, potentially. Honestly, I don't know how many people are gonna actually be in agreement with me in the video, so maybe that's not true. We're not gonna go that far. Basically, we met because they joined something. They joined servers that I was in, and I was ooh. We met specifically because they were a content creator. That's why it's so important to share, for you guys to understand the story. And we met over yeah, we met online. You can call that cringe, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but that is what happened. We met online. So, call it whatever you want, but that is what it is. And, well, we met. And it was kind of like a whole thing. Like, I didn't really... Like, we started talking, like, originally we were just friends who were, like, talking about the same thing, and we thought, like, oh, we might both need help on the content we make, because they needed help in the Discord and stuff, and me as a... And they asked me, because I was a member that had been there for a while, so I was like, you know, why not? Why the fuck not, you know? So they did that, and it was all going great. You know? Like... Then I, like, told a friend of mine at the time, like, who was also a content creator, and one of my other friends who I collab with a lot, that, like, I still talk to all the time, that, like, that I kind of was catching feelings for the guy, because I found out that they knew each other, so, you know, just letting someone know that, like, hey, like, you know, it was, like, they knew each other, so it was kind of, like, yeah, like, so awkward, I'm sorry, but it was like, yeah, they knew each other, so I reached out to someone I knew that knew them, and they were like, yeah, and they, like, and it was kind of a red flag to me at first, when, I don't know if it should have been, but it was kind of a red flag at first, when the person that I liked, the guy I liked, was like, yeah, we're so close, we're, like, best friends. And then when I talked to the guy, he was like, I don't really know him, we're not close at all. That was a red flag, but I thought, you know, he's been nothing but nice to me. I'm not gonna judge him based on that one thing, you know? And when I started to get feelings, I told him I was trans, like, immediately. That is something I will heavily vouch that if you are trans, you do. Because not only is it for safety reasons, not only does it keep you safe from, like, dating someone dangerous who might be transphobic in most contexts, it also keeps you safe from potential hurt, though in this case, it didn't really work out like that. So, yeah, I would vouch for that if you were trans, 100%, like, literally. Quite literally. I would literally, like, if you are trans and you want to date somebody regardless, my advice is you tell them right away. Rip it off the Band-Aid. The main reason why that's my advice is because every other person I've ever dated, people that knew I was trans, would tell them beforehand, either I can't tell if it was out of transphobia or genuine concern that I wasn't being honest with them, because that is a big deal to some people. There are valid reasons for it to be a big deal. I'm not saying, like, there are completely valid reasons for that to be a big deal. You know, and so, yeah, like, I told him that, and he was like, and I was like, yeah, I'm a trans girl, I thought you should know that, like, before I even said that I liked him, before I even made that clear, and I was like, yeah, and he was like, that's cool, I'm an ally, which was a great start. It didn't really work out that way, but I appreciated the support in the initial moment, and I will give him props for that, the person for that. And, well, I also told one of my other close friends who was in the community at the time, the friend I'm still close friends with that has, like, been super helpful throughout the whole situation, so shout out to that friend, I appreciate them. And, like, it was, like, yeah, like, I did not know, like, what I was gonna do about it. But, like, I didn't know if I was gonna act on my feelings at the time or not. That I hadn't really decided yet. Like, at all. But eventually, I decided I would, and I was like, hey, I have something to tell you, and I kind of tried to tell him. I told him in the most subtle way I could, but I made it obvious that I think I like you, and I thought you were cute, and he was like, I like you too, I also think you're cute. And I was like, oh, it was so great. Initial starting, going great. Like, literally, it was going great initially, just lovely. Like, there was nothing I could say that was, like, a problem, you know? We started talking for a few days. There was one other major red flag where, like, a creator, who passed away in the Minecraft community, I don't want to say it here because I feel like it's disrespectful, you guys can all tell who it is, passed away, and everyone was making announcements in Discord saying rest in peace, paying their respects, and he was, like, weirdly upset about it. I should have, like, if I had fully processed it, I probably would have been like, that was it, then and there, because, like, someone dies and you're upset that, like, people are mourning it. It was kind of weird, to say the least. But I was like, yeah. And so that happened. And so, but then we continued like normal. We went on a double date with the two friends I mentioned earlier. Things were going lovely. Then and we were talking, like, we literally moved so fast. That was another issue that I was starting to get, but I was bad at wording my concerns at the time with people. I've gotten a lot better at that in the upcoming months, which I'm proud of myself for. But I was like, didn't know how to word it, so I think I just didn't, and I think he was feeling the same way, but he also didn't word it, so I give him credit, I give him the benefit of the doubt on that had something to do with it. However, yeah, and we were like, but we had like said I love you like by like day 2. Like, this was a short relationship, even by my standards, and my relationships usually end rather quickly for one reason or another. Like, I can't get into it. I don't really know if that's also to do with I'm trans. I have no evidence to support that with other people, so that's not a claim I would make. So but yeah. We were talking, right? And, like, we were saying that we were very in love, like, immediately. It was, like, literally the most high school basic thing ever. Like, literally so quick. Like, literally, the most basic high school relationship ever. I'm sorry. I don't mean that in a bad way, but it just was. And then we were like, And then one day I was on a call with some of my other friends that weren't involved, and we were playing with Minecraft or something, and then, like, it was, like, lovely. We were, like, messing around, joking around, like friends do. I get a message from him saying, we need to talk. And I was like, oh. I left the call, because I have an issue being vulnerable on calls, and we need to talk is never a good sign. So, unless you're, like, a specific person, like, who I've, like, come from, like, talked to about everything, like, unless we have a relationship like that, chances are I won't want to be vulnerable on a call with you. So I just left, because none of those people, I don't, like, vent to all these people and, like, trust them with personal information as close as we are. Like, I don't tell them everything that happens to me all the time. So it's like, I didn't. So I left because I don't really like being vulnerable, and yeah. I was talking, and then he was like, what he said was like, we might need to break up, my parents are transphobic, and I was like, what? What happened? And then he was like, I told my parents about you, and they're really upset with the fact you're trans. And I was like, oh. And I was, like, very upset. Like, I got emotional, because, like, that stung that, like, his parents were concerned about that. I don't even know if that was true, but I'm gonna peaceful this. Hold on. But, continuing, where was I? He said, it was very stung that, like, parents would be upset about it, like, even if that was what happened. I don't know if that was what happened, it still stung. But I was, like, upset about it, and obviously I kind of, like, broke down, and he was like, okay, this was all over text, but like I did obviously break down, and I like immediately went to my two friends that were like there since the beginning, who I talked to about it since the beginning, who I mentioned earlier, started talking to him about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so hurt, blah blah blah, and they were like, oh no, this is not symmetrical, but I don't think at all. But, you know, I'm just gonna roll with it, I guess. I don't know. Huh. I'm bad at building, I'm sorry. But, anyways, it was, like, not ideal. And so I was, like, upset, and they, like, immediately, I did not tell them to do this, but, like, they started messaging him, like, hey, what's going on, why are you doing this, that's not okay, blah, blah, blah. Like, they were kind of worried about me, I guess, I don't know. Well, no, I know they were, but, I was like, oh my gosh, because I was very upset, and they're like, you should talk to her, you're not, like, because these two people's beliefs, I don't know how to align with it, but beliefs were, you should not let other people influence your relationship at all, and I don't really know where I stand with that, because my beliefs on relationships aren't really much, because I haven't had much experience with them at all, to be point blank. So, yeah, I continued that, and I kept the relationships, or where was I? Oh yeah, sorry. I was obviously not happy about it, and then he was like, oh, and then I was crying, and I was like, what's happening? And he was like, and his response was, hold on, I never said we had to break up. And I was like, that is what you said, though. And he was like, I just meant break. And he was like, I just meant break until my parents decide to support, until I can try and change my parents' minds. And that didn't make me feel that much better, because I'm not a fan of the whole term taking a break. It kind of doesn't work for me, because I don't like to be in those whole, like, I don't like the idea, I guess, of being in a whole, like, unknown, like, if it's a relationship or not, like, because it's basically, it literally, quite literally, almost, to me, means, like, oh no, a lot of times it means, like, oh, wait, I can't talk to other people then, it's, like, you know, it's very not happy thing to be in for me, you know, like, I'm not happy being in a situation like that, so I was very upset, because, like, to me, breaks are usually, like, permanent, like, I don't see them as being undone. You can disagree with that whole as you want, like, you guys are allowed to disagree with me 100% when I tell the story time. You guys are 100% allowed to disagree with me, like, if you don't align with something I say, that is perfectly fine. I'm not gonna be, like, here crying because, oh, X commenter doesn't agree with me, so don't worry about it. But basically, I kept it, I was like, huh, okay, and then he was like, and then I was like, okay, I started to finally calm down and accept the break was gonna happen. It was either a break or a breakup was gonna happen, and I was like, okay, I am fine with the whole break thing, I guess. Like, I wasn't fine with it, but I was like, I'll accept it. Like, I accepted that it was happening, and I wasn't gonna block him. I was gonna leave it open in the air for us to still talk, and maybe one day things would work out, you know? Who knew? So I wasn't gonna block him. But then he messaged my one friend, the one who, like, I've talked to about it the entire time, and has been there for me the whole time. Shout out to them, but shout out to him. But, well, they were like, he told him, like, that, quote unquote, he told him, hey, cause he messaged him apparently, and then he was like, hey, I'm embarrassed to be with her because what will my friends think? What will, like, everyone around me think if I was dating a trans girl? And, like, not wanting to date a trans person isn't inherently transphobic. But to know I was trans and still ask me out, like, quite literally, he asked me out, like, on a call, like, when we were playing Minecraft. Like, it was literally, it may sound stupid, but, like, it happened. Like, he literally, it was on a call. Like, I confessed the feelings, and we were like, let's talk more, and see where it goes, and then he was like, I'm gonna ask her out now. So, like, I, like, quite literally was like not aware that like at all that he would have an issue with me at all, because he had given absolutely zero indication of that. So that is what ended up happening, and I was like, oh. And then like what really weirded me out, like being embarrassed to date a trans person, like that is the one reason that I will be questioning if you're transphobic. The reason I say that is because if you're embarrassed to date a trans person, you're like, well, my friends think, you think your friends are going to think that you're dating a man and that you're gay, in my experience, which is quite literally, which is like, feel free to disagree with me, but like, you were basically saying by that, I agree with my friends, you're a man. Like, feel free to disagree with me on that, but that is what you were saying, in my opinion. That, like, if you say that, you were saying, yeah, I align with what my friends say, and I believe you are a man. So it was like, yeah, that's the one time where I'll be like, where I believe not wanting to date a trans person is inherently transphobic. So I was like, huh. And, like, I hear this all the time. Like, people are embarrassed to date trans people because what will their friends think? And it's like, it comes off as stupid to me. The reason is because, quite literally, you are upset because a trans person, because you might get your sexuality questioned because you're dating a trans person, when a trans person hears far worse and far more vulgar shit every day. Like, you are literally, in my opinion, just a coward if you think that you have a right to be concerned when the trans person themselves is probably gonna face far more negativity than you will ever face for being in that relationship. Like, literally. Like, it's just, like, it bugs me, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, you know? Like, I don't know. And then, like, he texts me, and then after he texts my friend, right, I'm embarrassed to date her because trans, what my friends think, he messages me, did friend text you, tell you what I said? Which to me, he would only say that, which this was after our conversation had already finished earlier, so I assumed he thought, for whatever sick, twisted reason, hearing that would make me feel better. Correct me if I'm wrong, and you don't think that was remotely his intention with that wording, but to me, the only reason for him to say that in the situation was that if he thought what he told my friend was helpful. And then I was like, not yet, because my friend, like, was slow and didn't get back to me, which is okay, valid. They had stuff to do, busy life. And then they texted me, like, hey, he just texted me this. And I was like, oh my god. And then I told my other friend at the time as well, who was also there helping me at the time, and I was like, oh my god. And they were like, yeah, this is fucked up. And I was like, yeah. So, like, I blocked him on everything. And that was that. It was almost done with, except it actually kind of wasn't, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly why. Like, I would not do this now remotely, just to be clear. Do not follow my example. He X's for a reason, and on very rare circumstances do I remotely advise you get back with somebody, especially after they do something terrible like that. But the friend that, like, knew him or didn't know him, who, like, who helped me for the first bit of it all, was like, we were on a call talking about stuff, like other stuff, and we were like, hey, and I was like, okay, huh? And I was like, we were like on a call, and we were like talking about stuff, and I was like, and I kind of brought it in passing conversation that I wish I got it more closer, and if I'd heard more, then maybe I wouldn't have needed to hear, maybe I wouldn't have like blocked him so fast, and I kind of was wondering if I shouldn't have blocked him so fast, and maybe I should have heard him out. And I did feel bad because I did hurt his feelings by blocking him. That is confirmed. Like, I think he was upset. He was upset about that. I've seen DMs. And I was like, okay. And that was that. And I was like, okay. Like, literally, yeah. And I was like, okay. He was like, really? You talk to him again? If you could? And I was like, maybe, yeah. And then we, like, talked, and then when the friend got back to me, it was... we had, like, talked about it more, we were like, oh, he was like, yeah, I'd take you back as well, and I was like, okay, and I was like, maybe, I was like, it'll take some time for me to forgive you, and, like, but maybe one day we can work back together, and he was like, yeah, the only reason I did all that was because we moved too fast, and, like, and, which, I agree we move really fast, like, I agree that it was way too fast. However, I also don't know which is it. Like, is it because his parents are transphobic, he's transphobic, or we move too fast? It's like, I still have no idea. Like, we were talking for a while, everything was great. Although we weren't, like, regularly speaking, like, we would rarely actually message each other. Like, we hadn't messaged for months. I then asked my other friend, who's still been helping me out a lot through it, hey, should I, like, take him back? Like, the other friend got us in contact, and I don't know if it's a good idea, and they're like, no, you shouldn't. Like, you deserve better. They're just gonna... And I was like, you deserve better. That person treated you horribly. I don't know why you do that. And I was like, you know what? You are correct. Because quite literally, I realized I was definitely not thinking that was definitely a bad decision. Like, literally. A terrible decision to even think about it. Especially when he literally, in my opinion, gave no proper apology. He just made excuses every time. So I, like, didn't block him, but I, like, stopped talking to him. And it was, like, great. You know, lovely. Everything was lovely. And, like, and he also stopped talking to me because of other external drama I went into, so we weren't talking anymore. At least I think that's why. So we kind of both ghosted each other. Like, I take accountability for the fact that we never talked about how we were feeling about the pain. We kind of just both ghosted each other. I take accountability for that, but... then what happened was then a couple of days ago, was it yesterday? I don't remember. Time flies. But I had like posted, I had like hit 1,000 subs. I was celebrating because I hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys, by the way. I was like, oh my god, I hit 1K. I'm so excited. And I posted on my Discord chat, it's 1K. Fuck yeah! I'm like so excited about it. And then he DMs me. This person DMs me. Congrats on 1,000 subs, smiley face. And I was like, oh. And I was like, huh? But like, I was like, yeah, it's a nice comment, but part of me felt like, and I don't really feel this way as much now, but I felt like, and maybe I should, I don't know, like, I kind of don't know if that should be my viewpoint, but like, it felt like he was only messaging me because he had seen I hit some sort of success on something, and he wanted part of that. Like, I mean, he had a lot more subscribers than I did. That had nothing to do with it. So that's why I kind of don't believe that anymore. Because thinking back on it, he had a lot more followers, and he was a bigger creator than I was by a decent, substantial number. So, and even with me hitting 1K. So, with me hitting 1K, I don't really think now he would have manipulative intentions with that, but at the time I felt that. And I was like, I don't want to forgive him. He hurt me. And I asked a couple people, and they were like, yeah, you were right. You can block him. You can block whoever you want. And I was like, thank you. Like, the people that I asked for help were very right. Because I was like, do I block him? It's not a bit mean because he was nice. And so I kind of feel that being mean a lot. I don't know. I don't like to hurt people's feelings. You know, I need to get better at that. But, I was like, I blocked him, and that was that, and I think the situation is finally done. And I'm very happy to say that. Like, I'm beyond happy to say that that situation is in the past, and I can move on with my life and find a new, better crush that hopefully will not give a shit about, like, me, my trans identity, and for once it won't be made a big deal, because that always happens, but, oh my god, cherry trees, but yeah, okay guys, that's my story time. I haven't done one of these in a while, but I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. And if you guys did, I want you to leave a like and subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Comment below with your thoughts, blah blah blah. I'm sorry. Comment below and let me know what your thoughts, blah 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 blah. Comment below and let me know what your thoughts are on this story time and this video overall and like everything. And if you enjoyed this video, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!